Next, let's queer up politics. Kamala Harris's presidential campaign witnesses an historic first week, in what is shaping up to be one of the most extraordinary weeks in American presidential campaign history. Vice President Kamala Harris has surged to prominence as the presumptive Democratic nominee. Just a week ago, Harris was not running for president, but a whirlwind of activity and rapid delegate acquisition has vaulted her to the forefront of the race. In just 48 hours, Harris secured the necessary delegates to be elected by the Democratic National Committee, a feat that has galvanized her campaign. On July 23rd, she kicked off her campaign with a rally featuring Lesbian Senator Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin and a strong embrace of LGBTQ rights. Her campaign's inclusive spirit continued with the release of her debut ad on July 25th. Harris's campaign released its first ad featuring a vibrant display of pride flags and a stirring message set to Beyoncé's Freedom, which Beyoncé had granted permission to use just for Harris. Her campaign also managed to shatter records, raising an unprecedented $200 million in its first week. Then, on July 26, addressing the American Federation of Teachers Convention, Harris criticized Florida's Don't Say Gay law, highlighting the adverse effects of such anti-LGBTQ policies on educators and students. She declared, quote, "We are in the fight for our most fundamental freedoms." Talking about the far-right attack on democratic values, she said, "And to this room of leaders, I say, bring it on." She ended her first week on a high note as Harris made a historic cameo on the finale of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9, marking the first appearance of a presidential candidate and sitting vice president on the show. The last week of remarkable achievements underscores Harris's launch of her presidential campaign. With 100 days before the election, it was a history-making week.
Hi everyone, it's Kamala Harris. Each day we are seeing our rights and freedoms under attack, including the right of everyone to be who they are, love who they love, openly and with pride. So as we fight back against these attacks, let's all remember, no one is alone. We are all in this together, and your vote is your power. So please make sure your voice is heard this November and register to vote at vote.gov.
Can I get an amen?
Amen! Now on with the show.
And remember, you better vote.
That was such an incredible and exciting appearance. I love seeing Kamala Harris come on RuPaul's Drag Race, come and speak to our community and do that. I've got to tell you all, I am totally coconut pilled. I love Kamala Harris. I'm loving this rollout of the campaign. Her campaign is absolutely historic. And I was telling you before the show, the National LGBTQ Task Force Action Fund, or as we like to call it, the Task Force AF, made the unprecedented decision to endorse Kamala Harris for president. The Task Force AF's first endorsement of a presidential candidate in 50 years since 1973.
Wow. That is huge.
It is. It's absolutely huge. Her record on LGBTQ support for our community is unquestionable. And I think that's why you're seeing communities all over the nation, but especially the LGBTQ community, really rally and get behind her. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, she's had quite a week, right? Like, just like we said in the story, a week ago, she wasn't running. Like, that's how crazy. Let that set in, you know? I am a childless cat lady, right? And I'm all about it. And I'm all, keep on talking shit about us because we're eating it and we're using it to our benefit, you know? The amount of money that she has raised in a week is outstanding, you know? I was blessed to be on the Out for Kamala HRC call last week, and it was just 3 hours of fundraising, and we weren't stopping. Then I got on the Latina Women for Kamala call, and I got on another call, you know, and that's what we should all be doing. And they're going out and they're talking to us. They're making us feel seen. They're saying, okay, all that crap from before, we're starting something fresh. Kamala keeps on talking about the future, and I believe her. You know, that's what a candidate always talks about, right? The future. But for whatever reason, the last candidates have made me always feel that the future doesn't include me and my people. You know, and it doesn't feel that way with Kamala.
That's sort of the amazing thing with Kamala. You know, now I know viewers are like, Alex, you're going to dissect everything that's wrong with her. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, she's doing everything right at the moment. She's up 7 points with young people. She's up with Latinos. She's up with black voters. I see everything on TikTok now is Charlie B's Apple with Kamala Harris. Like, she has a very likable, memeable quality about her that I think is going to do really well. I think the only thing that she has going against her isn't even her. It's the fact that Joe Biden took so long to hand over the reins. And, you know, I have a feeling she'll probably win. Like, you know, thinking a week ago, it looked like the Democrats had no shot at all. Yeah, and now it looks like they could win all sorts of things.
Yeah.
If she doesn't win, the only reason why she doesn't win is Joe Biden. Joe Biden would be the only reason. You know, hearing it now.
You heard him say
November 5th, I'll be going after Joe Biden if she isn't the winner.
Okay, and I know you will. You know, we're in Florida and we're in a very red state, and it is what it is, right? But the Villages, okay, the Villages is an area here in Florida that is predominantly rich, retired white people. Okay, let's be real about it, and it's been a Trump place for the last 8 years. You know, and they had a golf carts for Kamala event over the weekend where 500 carts were out in full force representing Kamala Harris for president.
Yep.
Like, take that in. I get chills. That was just, it's extraordinary. That would never happen.
I feel like the whole country now is just breathing a sigh of relief because we finally have a little bit of normalcy going on. You know, we have somebody that's really just speaking to every demographic. She's touching every base. She's utilizing everything in terms of social media and marketing, touching
TikTok,
every generation. And she's doing Zoom. She's doing everything that she can. She's got every resource, and she's one hell of a smart lady.
She really is.
I'm joining white dudes for Harris tonight. I can't wait for that for everybody. And I'm so glad you mentioned the Out for Harris call. I mean, how quickly our community came together. HRC, Task Force Action Fund, all of these organizations, and it's happening organically. Whether it's white dudes for Harris, Out for Harris, black women for Harris, black men for Harris. These are grassroots organizers that are saying, we need to come together. We've got 100 days to win this election, and we're going to do it.
And we're going to do it.
And Florida is much more in play now than people realize. You know, you were talking about the Villages, and I know the Villages Democratic Committee, wonderful group of people that work, but also the Florida Dems got more new volunteers than any other swing state in America. Over 7,500 people they put on the internet about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there, and that's a huge difference from like the last campaign, presidential Democratic campaign a month ago, whose campaign chair said, "Oh, Florida's not a swing state." Like, it is actually a swing state. There's going to be a huge amount of support for her. Just like there was a lot of support here for someone named Andrew Gillum, who we all might remember, like people with a fun energy who's not afraid to like challenge our concepts of like what it means to be American and to really show a more diverse. That does so much better in Florida than people realize.
Right? It's happening. That shift is happening. Please listen to what Alex is saying. I have friends who have said from the beginning, I'm not even going to go vote because what's the point? My vote doesn't matter here in Florida. If I lived somewhere else, I would make it a point. But here, it's a lost vote. It's not. There's a huge shift going on. Just your representation of going to the polls and casting your vote matters, and you need to do it. Look, if it makes you feel any better, Trump doesn't want to debate her because he's afraid, all right? He's afraid she's going to wipe the floor with him, all right? If that doesn't push you to vote, I don't know what will. I'm excited. Is anybody else excited?
I'm thrilled.
I think what I like is the age. You know, and we've talked about that a lot, you know, about President Biden and Trump and their age. And it's like, you know, she's younger and she's got that fresh connection to a younger generation. And that's what we need, because at the end of the day, it's our younger generation that's going to be leading this country.
Completely. And,
right?
And nobody's talking shit now about Trump being the older one, right? No one's saying anything now, right?
Oh, I'll say it. He's way too old. All right, we got to get to the next story. But people don't realize Donald Trump today is older than Ronald Reagan when Ronald Reagan left office after his second term.
Wow.
That is how old that man is. So, and you know, speaking of young people, Kamala could pick, I know some guy named Pete, but you know,